GolfNewsRI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Golf Dudes Podcast on GolfNewsRI.com. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. I'm coming to you from the Providence Open at Triggs Memorial Golf Course. And the first day is almost in the books. Somebody's still on the course as we speak, including Brad Adamonis, who had to change his tee time due to a delayed flight. So that is where we are. Just me today. Just some talking. Then later we'll have I Amateur Series episode 2 with John Cooper. Tomorrow will be more of a day of interviews and stuff. So it's a weird thing, but Will Dixon leads the Islanders at 1 under par through 18. O'Leary is 1 over, and Brad Adamonis was even through 9 as we speak. Show you that. That is the scene at the Providence Open. That's actually Will Dixon putting on the green right now, getting some work in, and pros, they don't stop. So that is where we are at the moment. A big couple of days for Rhode Island golf with the Providence Open here at Triggs, and then obviously the Rhode Island Amateur next week over at Montauk starting on Monday. We'll have coverage obviously of that as well. We'll have coverage of the rest of this tournament here too. It's an interesting day. The course, the way it's playing, the greens were pretty soft. Obviously, this place is, as all of us know, Rhode Island has received a ton of rain over the last pretty much this entire summer. So the greens are soft. And there was definitely a score up. I think 7 under is the lead for the pro tournament, anyways. And a couple other notables. Aiden O'Donovan from URI, the URI star, he's 1 under, and so lots going on, and we'll to show some clips. Here are some highlights from GolfNewsRI. All right, we're back to the Golf Dudes Podcast again. We're coming to you from the Providence Open at Triggs Memorial Golf Course. As we said, I watched Will Dixon putt in front of me, and he looks to make a run tomorrow. He did some scrambling today. He had a great birdie on 9, where he put his tee shot on the 18th green, and he hit an incredible second shot. He didn't put his tee shot on 18th green. He put his tee shot on 18, and he hit an incredible second shot onto the back of the green and made the birdie putt, which you saw in the highlights there. So pretty incredible stuff. I guess that's how you play this hole. Play that hole. So Tomorrow the tee times are in the morning again. I believe Dave Adamoni said that the pros are going to be going off later. That's my understanding. So so that's we'll have coverage of that obviously as well. The Corn Ferry Tour is underway, obviously over out in Colorado this week. It's David Chatfield, Patrick Welch are in action, and also the U.S. Women's Open is coming to you today from Pebble Beach, which is pretty cool for them to be playing. I'll be looking forward to seeing Annika Sorenstam, obviously, but the story really for the Women's Open is Rose Zhang, the youngster or the rookie, no, not youngster, rookie out of Stanford. She won her first tournament, first pro tournament that she played in, and then she she made a run at the women's PGA Championship. Obviously didn't get it done, but she I think she either tied or has the women's course record at Pebble Beach. So that'll be interesting to see watch her play. I think coverage is on USA Network, if I'm not mistaken. So check that out for sure. Perhaps you're watching it right now. So yeah, so that's kind of the things that are going on. Obviously next week, Ryan Amateur, huge week over at Montauk. It's going to be really interesting to see how Montauk plays because the first couple holes they say are first 3 holes they say are the kind of the toughest holes, 3 of the toughest holes in the state. But then after that, the course kind of opens up. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Montauk plays. I never been to Montauk before, but it's been interesting to hear these guys talk. We had John Cooper, we had M. Tempesta on the amateur series. I'm gonna try to crank out another couple episodes here over the next couple of days leading up to the tournament. But looking forward to seeing how Montauk plays. Obviously, the names, Bobby Leopold and Mike Hamilton's, and those guys should be in the mix for match play. Looking forward to see if Max Jackson can make a run like he did last year. John Cooper, as he talked about in the amateur series episode, he feels pretty good about his game right now. So it's going to be a fascinating week for sure. I'm looking forward to that getting started on Monday with again 2 rounds of stroke play, and then it's changes. Then there's a cut. It switches over to match play. There is no cut here at the Providence Open, so keep that in mind. But yeah, so a busy time around golf, exciting time around golf for sure, and hopefully we can keep it going. Other things to hit on. Olivia Williams played it down in the North South Junior Amateur this past week. Obviously, it finished 73rd. We also have, which we're following at the moment, we have two locals playing in the AJGA event. Andrew McLeod and Kylie Eaton. Andrew McLeod had a great day yesterday. I think he finished 3 under for the day. He was in the mix. He went backwards 1 today, but as of right now, he's still in the mix. And Kylie Eaton is playing on the girls' side of the AJGA event. So something to watch there. We'll obviously have the results for you. We had all the 4th of July shootout, a lot of the 4th of July shootout results, and obviously we switch gears to this tournament. One note, which we did update the story. Well, one note about the Providence Open: if you're coming tomorrow, there's no Chris Francoeur. He's not playing. He withdrew due to sickness. Also, the other pro, James Driscoll, withdrew due to sickness. So keep that in mind if you are looking at leaderboards, or if you're looking at the tee times for tomorrow when those eventually come out. So yeah, so wind is picking up here at Triggs. Well, it's supposed to rain. It was warm, but yeah, so that is kind of what we have going on. A couple of notes. Obviously, Ryan Amateur next week, but you know that. The Transfusion Open at Wanamatami is again August 14th. Be sure to sign up for that. Get some groups. Let's sell it out. Let's have a good time. And there should be a fun day for sure. Looking forward to touching base with Fred on that. So that is kind of the things that we have locally. Again, just here at Triggs, and give you another live look here at what's going on. That is the putting green. There you go. That's some of the action going on the putting green. As we speak, Will finished a while ago, had some lunch. It's just cool to sit with him and his dad. And then he went right back out to the putting green. He wasn't working, so that's the difference between us and pros, I guess. I just stay at the bar, and they're right back out to work. So, yeah. So that is kind of what we have going on here at the Providence Open. Again, the leaders are the leader right now is Brian Hughes from Raleigh, North Carolina at 7 under. Danny Houston from New York is 5 under. Yeah, you have to get to tie for 5th before we find somebody from New England. Oh, I'm sorry, no. Peter French is tied for 3rd. He's from Massachusetts. Sorry. So, so that is the local Fran Quinn, who made the U.S. Open last year at Brookline. He's 2 under, and he's done for the day. Will Dixon is 1 under. He's done for the day. Charlie Blanchard is done for the day, even, along with West Warwick's Jeremy Bart and Brad Monis, as we record this podcast, is still on the course. So my thought was to try to get a lot of these guys to do interviews, but it's always a weird thing to interview somebody after the first round. Andrew O'Leary left right away. He was not happy with his round. He three putted to finish there. So he left right away, and then it's just a weird thing. But we'll definitely have tons of video content tomorrow and today, rest of today on Instagram and such. Obviously, you saw the highlight reel and on GolfNewsRI.com. So it'd be interesting to see what the groups are tomorrow. Again, according to Dave Adamoris, at least my understanding is that the pros are going to go off after, and they're all going to be kind of grouped together, which should be cool. Hopefully, we get something fun like Will Dixon, Brad Adamoris pairing, or something fun like that. But yeah, so if you're gonna come down, if you want to come down to Triggs, it's free. Don't hesitate. You just come down, walk around, and enjoy some free professional golf. It was also great to see. I mentioned Aiden O'Donovan. It was also great to see Harry Dessel today. Haven't seen him in a while. He played decent. Some of the other roadie guys and Bryant guys are in the field as well. I know Aiden played really well, so despite up and downs on the back nine. So yeah, so it's pretty interesting stuff, for sure, and looking forward to the rest of the rounds tomorrow to get started. So wasn't some of the action. Yeah, this is the Golf Dudes podcast on GolfNewsRI.com, and we are coming to you from the Providence Open at Triggs Golf Course. Big 2 weeks for Triggs. This kind of wraps up a big 2 weeks for Triggs. Obviously, last week we were here for the World Junior Championships, or the World Series of Junior Golf, and now we're here for the Providence Open. So, certainly a busy time for the club, but the course is in great shape, in great condition. The greens, Will said they're a little bit slower than what he likes, but what are you gonna do? And he's had some chances. Other guys had some chances. O'Leary missed a couple of short putts for that would have been birdies. So it'd be interesting to see if these guys now come out and adjust and play better tomorrow. Again, Brad Monis is still on the course as we speak after his tee time got moved because one of his flights was delayed and couldn't make it. So he's still on the course, and yeah, so he could be in contention going into tomorrow. A couple other guys, Bob Tremonti from Triggs is playing, and yeah, Bob Tremonti finished at 2 over, so Joe Tucker finished at 5 over. So, uh, yeah, some high scores and some low scores. It's amazing the difference on the leaderboard, how much it is. So that's kind of what we're looking at going into tomorrow. Basically, again, we're still, as we record this, there's still some guys on the course, but not a ton. And like I said, the leader is Brian Hughes of North Carolina at 7 under, but the best closest Islander is Will Dixon at 1 under, followed closely by Charlie Blanchard and uh, and Jeremy Berber at even par, and currently Brad Moore is at even par too. On the women's side, the only local woman that's playing is Morgan McLeod. She's 4 over. She just made the turn. I just saw her come in. Morgan McLeod's in the field on the girls' side. It's not a huge girls bracket, so but she's 4 over. Morgan Smith is leading at even. And in the non-professional men's bracket, which is just everybody, the men's division, Aiden O'Donovan is 3 under par. Had a great round today at 69, and I'll have a chance to he have a chance to make a run at it as well. So certainly an interesting first day, and there's 3 different leaderboards, so it's kind of tricky to follow. But it's a professional, obviously, a women's and a men's. So but Brian usually leads all of them. So yeah, so that is where we are at the Providence Open here on the Golf Dudes podcast. Coming up, we'll have episode 2 of the RA Amateur Series with John Cooper. We're going to try to plan in a couple more episodes this weekend. I tried to get Kevin Blazer today at Triggs, but he had to go back to work, so maybe tomorrow I lost some more time. And I'll try to get a couple more episodes in. I know people enjoy those series, so that is kind of where we are here as we finish up the day at Triggs here. It's been a great 2 days, great course. I grew up here a little in some ways, so it's always cool to be back. And it was like it's in tremendous shape. So if you have an opportunity to come play Triggs, you definitely should do it because it's certainly worth playing. The course is in great shape. They're saying the rough is tough, and the greens are great, but slower than some of these pros want it. So it'll be interesting to see who wins tomorrow and how the locals do. But it's free to come, so come on down and enjoy some golf, get some food or whatever from the revamped clubhouse, and yeah, enjoy the day. So this has been the Golf Dudes podcast. We'll talk to you next week from the Raleigh Amateur. Again, it starts on Monday. 2 rounds of stroke play. Tee times are out. You can find them online. So you can mark off who you think is going to get in, and other stuff. If you missed it, Expand Your Brand podcast did a great preview with Austin on it. So get some insight from him, and what a great advantage that we have to have Austin with us to give insight. Not that we can't get insight from other people, obviously. I mean, I certainly have, but just to have him there here, on one of our podcasts is pretty great. So, yeah. So this has been the Golf Dudes podcast. Coming up next, episode 2 of the Providence Amateur Series with John Cooper. It was a great interview. Really interesting stuff to hear him talk about his swing changes that he went through with Drew Anderson, and how he feels pretty confident about his game. He's playing really well. He's playing some of the best golf of anyone coming in to the tournament. So yeah, it's really going to be exciting to see how he does in the amateur next week. But that's all we have from here. We'll talk to you more video content and interviews tomorrow for sure. And so stay tuned for all that. This has been the Golf Dudes podcast. I'm Joe Calabro. Next up is the RA Amateur Series, episode 2 with John Cooper. Enjoy. welcome to episode 2 of the 2023 Rhode Island Amateur Series. Episode 1, we had Adam Tempesta, otherwise known as Tempe's Tees on Instagram, from Segregansett. He's playing his first RA Amateur. And episode 2, we have John Cooper, who's playing as well as anybody heading into the amateur. So we'll see what obviously next Monday brings. But John, thanks so much for taking a few minutes and joining the podcast. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate the time to talk about the amateur.
Yes, our amateur July 10th to the 14th at Montauk. We were just talking off the air. You said you played Montauk like 12 years ago. So you're hoping to go back there later this week to kind of refresh your memory. But how excited are you to play in the amateur? I know you've played them before, obviously, but how excited are you to get down there?
I'm very excited. It's one of the tournaments that I've been looking forward to since February. I have it marked on my calendar. I went and got my first ever swing lesson back in February from Drew Anderson, and it's done a lot of. It's helped me a lot. So my game has completely changed from 2 years ago to now, and I'm excited to see where the game is in a bigger high level tournament.
That's crazy that you just completely changed your game in just a couple of years. Talk a little bit about that process. Drew Anderson, obviously a great teacher, one RI Golf Pro of the Year, I think. A year ago or two, we had him on the podcast. I can't remember. They all blended into like one big year. So whatever it was, we had him on. Anyway, but just talk about that process and how interesting was it, how frustrating was it. I mean, we just saw Ricky Fowler win on the PGA Tour. Not that I'm comparing you to Ricky Fowler, but he went through a whole bunch of changes over the last couple of years, and he really, really struggled for a long time. Again, I'm not comparing you to Ricky Fowler, but just talk about that process for you. What was that like?
Yeah, so I've been playing golf for 24 years now and never had a lesson. Just my dad and me go to the driving range, figure out what I needed to do to hit the ball where I wanted it to go. The confidence level with iron play was never there. That was the biggest weakness through college golf, throughout everything. So I mean, 2021 in the Rhode Island Am, I made it to the round of 16, but it wasn't lucky, but that was out of the norm for me to go out and shoot 1 under for 2 rounds at Kirkbride. Last year was a little bit of a struggle, so I'm like, I really want to give it my all this year. My boss at work said, take the time that you need to take off of work and do it right. So, I mean, I'm still working, but I went and saw Drew back in February, and we just made a simple little change that has dramatically changed my game. I play the same golf courses, and I'm playing them completely different than I ever have. It's odd knowing where the ball's going when you hit it, like before you hit it. It's weird.
What a feeling.
Yeah, it's great to be able to have confidence with irons now. Where I would step on a par 3 that's over 200 yards. I'd be like, yeah, it's on automatic bogey. Just chalk it up to a bogey and just walk away. Now it's like I'm going after the pin and I should be able to make par. And if I make birdie, great.
Well, that's pretty amazing. It's amazing how, like you said, it was just one little thing that you fixed, and now it's like a totally different ball game for you. And now you're going into the biggest tournament of the year locally, anyway. And certainly seems like you feel like you have a chance to make a run, if not win the whole thing.
Yep, exactly. I've been playing in a few tournaments leading up to it. 2 weeks ago, I played in the Taunton City Open, and I missed the birdie putt on 18 on the 36th hole to win the tournament, and then I lost in a playoff. So shooting 71, 72 for a second place finish was pretty good. That helped me get some confidence going into next week.
You've been on a roll. We've been reporting. We obviously been covering all local golf. You've been on a roll. A month ago, whatever it was, maybe it was even more than that. You qualified for the New England Amateur at, I believe it was Crestwood. You played really well that day. So talk about that and how rewarding that was. So not only now you get to play the RA Amateur, but now what is it? The week is always the week after something screwy. You go on a road trip to the New England Amateur. That's exciting.
Yeah, and that was the tournament that I wanted to try to qualify for this year. And next year, I'll do the USGA stuff. I wanted to see where my game was at and play against the top level players in New England. And I played in it back in 2016, I think, 2015, and I didn't play well. So I wanted to go back and give it a try. And I looked at the leaderboard. I was lucky to tee off in the afternoon on the Tuesday. And I saw that, the scores are low. I'm like, all right, time to go low. Let's go see how low I can get. Um, and I just had a smooth round of golf except for 3 holes in the middle of the round. Bounced back and ended birdie birdie to make the cut, which was an awesome feeling. Giving my wife a call at the end saying, "Hey, we got to go to Maine, so tell your work now." But yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Are you somebody that looks at the scoreboard? Do you want to know where you are all
Uh,
the time? You said you looked at the leaderboard. Are
I
you
looked
one
at
that
the
looks at the board a lot?
before I teed off. I did. Um, they asked me during the round if I wanted to look. I said, "No, I know what I need to shoot. If I honestly, if I shot 71, 70 and missed the cut, I would have been fine with it as well." Um, didn't really go there expecting to make the cut. I just wanted to put up a good number. Um, like this is the first year where I'm really trying my best to play good golf and make a name for myself finally. Because I played for Rhode Island College and no one really knows me. So just trying to get my name out there now.
Well, just tell them to go look at the Rhode Island College Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
and then they'll know you. I want to get to that in a minute because I think that was pretty cool, as well. The Rhode Island Amateur, obviously, the first 2 rounds of stroke play, then it turns into match play. I'm always fascinated. I ask everybody the same question. Just the difference between stroke play and match play for you. Do you change your game at all? Obviously, match play depends on the situation. I understand that, but just in general, do you change your game? Do you prefer one or the other? Are you a match play guy? How do you kind of handle that?
I would prefer to play stroke play. I make a lot of pars. I'm not someone to go out and make 6 to 7 birdies in a round. In 2021, when I played Andrew O'Leary, he had like 8 birdies on the card.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, I can't compete with that, and I don't think I ever will. Um, I prefer stroke play, match play. I'll bore him to death with pars and make a few birdies, and hopefully that gets it done.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear people, talk about the difference because some people they completely change their games like they're more aggressive in match play because obviously it's one hole.
Yeah.
You either win the hole or you lose the hole. Basically, obviously you can tie the hole, but you know what I'm saying. A
Yep.
stroke play is more, you can't really be that aggressive or at times because you have to protect the score at the end. So it's always an interesting thing. One thing you mentioned was the wind. Hopefully, it's not too windy at Montauk this year. I know a couple holes are kind of sort of on the water, but I know we were laughing about Wanamatami last year and how the first 2 stroke play rounds there were ridiculous, and it wasn't even like golf. It was just like survive. I mean the cut was really high. People said that was a relatively normal number for a cut. It didn't feel that way.
No.
But yeah, last year, hopefully, have better wind conditions this year, for sure. Uh, so we talked about the New England Am. Most recently, which we reported, and you were joking about it, but you just won the Gloucester four ball with Tom Bork, a
Yep.
former Kirkbride member from back when I was a kid, way back. Um, your third straight Gloucester four ball championship.
Yep.
Pretty impressive stuff. Uh, you said it's just the Gloucester four ball, but winning is better than not winning. Just talk about that. How much fun is that to compete in? And it seemed like from the final score, seemed like it was a pretty good match.
It was a very good match. I think combined we might have the between us and the other team was like probably 15 birdies, which is kind of crazy, especially at Gloucester where the greens are tough because they're small and it's tough to get the ball close to the hole. The course has made me definitely a better golfer. And it was a really, really fun tournament to go out and shoot 66 and not birdie the ninth hole both times. It's kind of aggravating, but still cool.
Absolutely. Now you touched on it. Well, I hit on it briefly. I want to go back last year in 2022. You were inducted into the Rhode Island College Hall of Fame. pretty cool stuff. We'll talk about your career in college. What was that college golf like for you? And then just getting that honor and getting that call to be in the Rick Hall of Fame had to be a pretty cool moment for you.
Yeah, my college, I was very lucky. I mean, I went to a Division III school, and I wasn't a great golfer going into college, and I kind of played myself up playing with better golfers at college. I pushed myself to get better and play better in tournaments and score better. Um, and that just led to a lot of team wins. We were a very good college team. I think we had probably like 45 wins while I was there. We went one season where we were like against all the teams like 120 and 3 or something. It was wild. And then getting a few individual wins along with my other teammates getting a few individual wins. The biggest one that I won was the NEIGA tournament with a few of like the D1 schools there as well. And then we played in 4 NCAA championships. My final year, I made the cut as an individual, and I was in one of the last pairings as an individual competing. So it was an awesome experience, and being the first golfer inducted into the Hall of Fame is very cool to be able to say and be a part of that legacy at Rhode Island College.
How was the ceremony? Was it cool? You saw see all your teammates or whatever? How was the whole
Yeah,
process of
few of the teammates were there. My coach, Greg Gamble, also got inducted with me as the
that's
coach.
right. Yep.
So it was a really, really good experience to be able to have that with him as well. And I'm excited for the rest of my teammates to join me in the Hall of Fame. It's only a matter of time, and I'm hoping one of our full teams gets inducted as well.
Well, when you have a team that good, it's hard to, hopefully just not, like you said, the whole team, whatever year, the whole team gets in. That'd be a pretty cool moment. For you, uh, again, kind of going back in the way back machine. But when did golf become a thing for you? Because you said going into college, in your opinion, you weren't really that good of a player. So for you, when did golf become kind of a thing?
Well, I liked high school golf. Um, was pretty good high school golf player, but when I went to playing tournaments, I just could never. If I shot under 80, if I shot in the 70s, I was happy. Um, College really turned up the level of competitive. I'm a super competitive person,
Uh-huh.
but playing with golfers every single day that were better than me just made me try a lot harder. And you learn a lot too playing with all of them.
Absolutely. Every time I play with somebody that's better than me, which is all the time, I always, I don't know if it works, but I try to think I learned something or other. A couple quick hitters, and then we'll get you out of here. But I'm sure you have better things to do. Your go-to shot. You need a shot. What's your club? What shot are you hitting? Obviously, I understand it varies, but just in general, what's your go-to shot? What do you think?
Oh, a little draw 8 iron is perfect. 160. Love it.
um, from past amateurs and how they set up the course, you know, how do you think the course is gonna play? How do you think Montop's gonna play this week or next week?
I'm assuming that they're gonna put some pins in some difficult positions like they did last year at Wanamatonami, like on what was that hole 6 with the green, the horrible green.
Yeah, everyone was complaining about it. That was the only hole that everyone was complaining about the whole week.
Yeah, and for some reason I still remember that. But I think they're also going to set up some holes that are gettable. They want people to score well. They want to see low scores. Last year there were some higher scores, and it felt odd shooting what I shot and still only getting like a shot or two off the cut, which was weird. I would love to see low scores and decent pins. I hate when pins are tucked, and it becomes not even like a skill, sort of. It's somewhat luck is related to that, and that I hate that.
So you're not a fan of the U.S. Open then? That's I'm just busting you up, but
No, I like when people score. I like it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it should be a great tournament. I see you have the live golf thing in the back here. Obviously, I enjoy live golf. I enjoy writing about it for sure. And I went to the Boston one last year, but you follow it. You follow it pretty closely. You're a live golf guy,
I'm an all around
all around golf guy.
golf guy. I make it. So I make signs on the weekends and at night. So it was just something to make and practice.
That's cool. Yeah, and then you got Taylor made and Scotty Cameron. You made all three of those signs.
Yeah, and then I made the titles one
Four.
too.
Wow.
Yeah, I have so many around my house. It's a problem.
Wow, see that? When you play in the amateur now, everyone's gonna be asking you for signs to see if you can make them a sign. You make a
Yeah,
business of it.
I'll
You
get a
make
cease and
business of
desist already. I already got banned once from Facebook for the title.
it. Well,
Wasn't even selling it.
well, that's not great. We'll try to get you banned. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Good luck next week in the amateur at Montauk. I'm sure I'll see you there. And maybe I'll be interviewing you for after the championship round on Friday. But good luck next week. Thanks again for coming on, and it was great talking to you.
Thank you.
That's John Cooper. The RI Amateur is next week, July 10th to the 14th at Montauk Country Club. 2 rounds of stroke play followed by match play commencing on Wednesday. It should be a great time, and you can follow all the coverage on GolfNewsRI.com. Stay tuned for the next episode of the RI Amateur Series 2023 coming later this week. Thanks, everybody.